So tomorrow, I know you're watching it because it's the day that you can cast your ballot in Ohio's special election, and you know the one issue on it. It's issue 1, which could change what it would take to pass a proposed constitutional amendment here in Ohio.
Right now, there's a QR code. You see it on your screen there, or you will here momentarily. When you see that QR code, you can scan that on your phone, and it will immediately take you to our issue 1 guide on our website, WKYC.com. I don't see it there, so you could just go directly to our website, WKYC.com. I was there earlier today. It's very easy to find. It tells you all you need to know about issue 1. But right now we have our legal analyst, Stephanie Haney, joining us on the set. Stephanie, good afternoon to you. I know this thing happens tomorrow, but there is still a lot of confusion surrounding this issue. I've heard a lot of people as recently as this weekend saying, I'm not quite sure how I want to vote on this. So tell us a little bit more about it, if you would.
Sure, yeah, and that issue 1 voting guide prominently displayed on WKYC.com, so do check that out. And issue 1 deals with the requirements to get a constitutional amendment on a ballot and also what it takes to pass it in an election. So a yes vote on issue 1 means in order to get an amendment on a ballot, a group must get signatures on a petition from all 88 counties. A no vote means the current rule of 44 counties is enough. A yes vote also means there will be no more 10-day grace period to collect more signatures if it turns out the ones you submitted aren't valid for some reason. A no vote means you want to keep that 10-day grace period. And then once an amendment gets approved to be on a ballot, a yes vote on issue 1 means 60% of voters will have to vote yes to pass that amendment. A no vote on issue 1 means that threshold will stay at 50% plus 1 to pass that amendment. That QR code is on your screen now, by the way, so that'll take you to the guide on WKYC.com. And that simple majority, the 50% plus 1, that's been the standard in place since 1912.
Okay, so just to put this in a different perspective so we know exactly what we're voting for, right? Because this has caused so much confusion. Talk to us or give us an example, if you would, of what would happen if you voted, say, no on this issue, or give us a future issue like abortion. What would it mean for that, based on how you would vote for issue 1?
Well, issue 1, if it passes, it goes into effect immediately. So if it passes tomorrow, that means it would impact the abortion rights amendment that will be on the November ballot. And at that point, this is all about percentages of people who vote. Now, voter turnout varies a lot in Ohio when it's not a presidential election year, but in last year's November election, a little over 4.2 million people voted in the state of Ohio. So we'll use that number of voters as our example. Using last year's voter turnout, it would take 2,520,000 votes to pass the abortion rights amendment if issue 1 passes tomorrow. Now, if issue 1 fails tomorrow, again, using last year's voter turnout, it would take 2,100,001 votes to pass the same amendment. That's a difference of 419,999 more votes needed under issue 1 to pass the same amendment to Ohio's Constitution. Now, to put this another way, if issue 1 passes, it would mean that more than half of the people who vote in November could agree that this amendment should pass, and it would still not become part of our state constitution. That's what the people who oppose issue 1 mean when they say that issue 1 gets rid of majority rule.
Oh boy, there's so much to this. And I imagine, and I know that you gave the numbers for last year. Last year, there was a Senate race on our ballot, so that probably had voter turnout, maybe not as high as it would be in a presidential year, but this is really an off year, so that we would expect those numbers would go down, I'm guessing. Another new change that voters need to be made aware of if they're going to the polls tomorrow, what is that?
Yes, the voter ID new requirements are in effect, so you need to have a government-issued ID with you. It has to have your name and your photo on it, and it cannot be expired, so make sure to have that with you if you're voting in person tomorrow between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. when the polls are open.
All right, great advice.
Yeah, such vital information, you know, as we're just hours away, really, at the end of the day for everybody to get to the polls. Thank you, Steph.
Sure.
Appreciate it so much.